علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما والحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. أما بعد، يروي الإمام مسلم بن الحجاج رحمه الله في صحيحه بسند صحيح عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال: كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في سفر في طريق مكة فمر بجبل يقال له جمدان، فقال: سيروا هذا جمدان سبق المفردون. Today's hadith, brothers and sisters, is narrated with an authentic chain of narration in the collections of Imam Muslim. And it also talks about the value of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, performing remembrance. And this is one of the things that are mentioned so much and so many times in the Quran, Hadith, and by ulama. It's something that every Muslim has to have. See, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been very merciful with us, that gave us only 5 obligatory prayers. But in reality, if you perform act of worship every day of your life or every hour, there's nowhere near enough to the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us. But it's because of His mercy, He only wanted us to, or made it an obligation for us to actually stand and do prayer 5 times a day. On the day of Isra, the night of Isra and Mi'raj, you all know the story. At the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the Prophet ﷺ to order us to do 50 prayers. So just imagine that. Just imagine that. For one day, try to do it. You'll never be able to do it, because it's very difficult. But this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to do at the beginning. But then, because of the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it was reduced to 5, but in value it's 50. Because every good deed you do is multiplied by 10. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy with us. So this hadith is also in this theme of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but there's a couple of things that I would like to talk about that are mentioned in this hadith. The Prophet ﷺ is on his way, traveling with 2,000 of his companions between Medina and Mecca. And for those who don't know, it's around 450 kilometers. And 3/4 of the way closer to Mecca, there's a small mountain, relatively small mountain, called Jumdan. And that's how back in the days, they knew there's no streets, there's no signs. That's how they knew. They know the names of the valleys and the mountains. And that was in Umrah al-Qada. They were performing Umrah and they're heading towards Mecca. And the Prophet ﷺ was encouraging, as he always did, to his companions, always encouraging them to be actively, both physically and spiritually. So he said, Siru it means keep on walking, proceed, march on. It's a type of encouragement. Keep going, type of encouragement. Hada Jumdan. So he pointed at the landmark in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. This mountains actually. Nowadays there's nothing around it. It means we're close. It's only around 100 kilometers to Mecca. Sabaqa al-mufarridun. Al-mufarridun, this is a term in Arabic. It means, linguistically, the person whose all his peers have died and he stayed alone, right? Someone who's old or in certain circumstances that all his peers, and now so there's no distractions. All he does, this person or she does, actually is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and perform acts of worship. That's all they do, this person. Linguistically, this is what it means. So this is what he said. He said, Sabaq al-mufarridun, that al-mufarridun, this group of people have gone way ahead of us. This is what he said. So the companions said, قالوا ما المفردون يا رسول الله? What is this? Who are the mufarridun? So they understand linguistically what it means, but they knew that this is not what he meant. He meant something else. It's an expression for something else. He said, قال الذاكرون الله كثيرا والذاكرات. That al-mufarridun are those who actually remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot. They do it all the time, and they perform it in a continuous manner. الذاكرون الله كثيرا والذاكرات. And here he mentions الذاكرون, which is a plural for, as you know, a plural for the masculine gender. But also he said الذاكرات, which is plural for the feminine gender. So what he's trying to say is that from both men and women, which is very specific when he says that. There's a few things here. The Prophet ﷺ, if you can imagine, they're walking in the middle of the desert, they're traveling. So, and he said, keep on going. سبق المفردون. So he number one, he always, as he did, and as any teacher should do, is seize the opportunity to teach, any opportunity to teach his students. And that's exactly what the Prophet used to do. Every opportunity there is, he benefited out of it, and he took it as an opportunity to teach his companions. Number one. Number two, he linked a physical journey with a spiritual journey. That, do you think this is tiring? No. Mufarridun, those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has gone way ahead of this with less effort, actually. They always did that. And here he mentioned the word dhakirat, which is the plural, the feminine form, plural for women. And I feel like there's a specific meaning for that, because in that time, this is for my sisters, and there's that time of the month when they don't pray, and some scholars say that women should not leave remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time. Like, yes, you don't pray, you don't fast, but you still have to, at the prayer time, sit in the place where you and do remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's also a little something that's mentioned there. Now, the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for my younger brothers who are, or for those who are new to this, as Muslims, we are ordered to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday we mentioned this hadith, لا يزال لسانك رطبا من ذكر الله, that keep your tongue moistened or moist with the remembering of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously, and that's how you practice your tongue to do it. But also, that's only one level. You start with practicing with your tongue, with remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your tongue, but also you should feel the meanings. So for my younger brothers, you have to have what we call the wird. The wird is a set of words that you say daily. For instance, you say La ilaha illallah 10 times. You do it daily at a certain time. You have to have that. It's you need it. Because as we mentioned yesterday, scholars say that your heart will rust. And the way to polish the rust off of your heart is actually by doing the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In any form, say La ilaha illallah, say Allahu Akbar, say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, in any forms, in any form. The Prophet ﷺ, the companions used to count in one sitting, in one majlis, for an hour and a half. He would say Astaghfirullah, repent with his tongue. You say I seek refuge, or I repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 70 to 100 times. You say Astaghfirullah. So this remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, honestly, someone who feels the savor, the value of prayer, it's a very long time for them to stay away from the remembering of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala between the prayers, especially between Fajr and Dhuhr. 7 hours or 8 hours is just too long. Those who really know what prayer means, they miss it. They have to do something in between. And I will end with this, something that I heard some time ago, and it's a very simple analogy, but very profound. They say that every hour of your life is like a small safe or small box, right? Every hour. And at the end of the hour, it'll be locked and kept away. You'll on the day of judgment, it'll be open. You'll see what's in it. So you choose what to put in it every hour. So I advise myself and my brothers and sisters to at least leave a couple of words of remembering of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every hour of the day. So you find it on the day of judgment, inshallah. And I hope this was of benefit. يروي الإمام مسلم في صحيحه بسند صحيح عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في طريق مكة فمر بجبل يقال له جمدان فقال سيروا هذا جمدان سبق المفردون قالوا من المفردون يا رسول الله قال الذاكرون الله كثيرا والذاكرات صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سبحانك اللهم بحمدك